What is up, guys? We are live on this very, very cold Friday night, Saturday morning in the UK. And I'm sure if you're in the US on the East Coast, it's probably pretty chilly over there as well. I can't speak for anywhere else in the world, but yeah, it's pretty damn cold in the UK right now. So, yeah, just what else is there to say? I mean, it's -3 right now where I am, which by my standards is pretty damn cold. Now, I'm not going to say it's anything out of the ordinary for certain people on certain parts of the United States. I know you get it pretty bad in the winter, but we're not really used. We are used to getting cold weather, but this has been going on for a few days, and it's probably going to go on for like another week or two, and it's just grim, man. Like we don't want this type of weather. We want snow, but we don't want cold. So we kind of want the best of both worlds. We love the snow, but we don't like the ice, and we don't like the just like sleet, which doesn't amount to snow. So yeah, it's just one of them things. It's just grim at the minute. It's especially when it's freezing cold and it rains and then it freezes over. The roads are treacherous. Luckily, gritters are being out and whatnot, so it's not too bad. But yeah, it's not ideal. But I suppose it is December weather. It is Christmas weather. So I can't complain too much. I mean, what more do I want at Christmas? I mean, I would like some actual snow. But hey, video tasties, Gareth's in the chat, man. You need to go to bed. Now, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. If you want to stick around for the next 2 hours, I'm all on board for that. But man, I mean, you're usually way tucked up in bed by this time of the night. We got Bunny Army in the chat. What's up, Bunny? Big T, what's up, Big T? We've got Alexi. What's up, Alexi? Yeah, Alexi, definitely end of the month 2022 year in review. Definitely gonna want you on board for that. Chris, what's up, man? Yeah, same goes to Chris as well. Planning a kind of like end of year review sometime between the 27th and the 31st of it's not going to be the 31st because that's New Year's Eve, but like the 27th or the 28th or the 29th or the 30th, a kind of like 2022 year in review, wrap up, talk about everything that went down. So yeah, Alexi, if you obviously I know you're up down for that, and Chris as well. Chris, if you want to be down for that, man, I'll obviously it's going to be a bit of a logistical nightmare trying to organize it because obviously everybody's doing different things at different times, but hopefully we can get something nailed down for one of those dates between the 27th and the 30th of December. Who else is in the chat? We've got Dan, obviously. Dan, what's up, man? JT, obviously JT's in the back room now. He's jumping on any second now. Okay, let's bring in JT now. What's up, JT? What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
JT looking like
normal.
Bob Marley.
How's everybody in chat? What's up?
You're looking like a bit like Bob Marley today.
Yeah. Like me and Echo were on the stream for like 4 hours yesterday, and he was wearing some shit. And I said, "Oh," and then Gareth, I was gonna wear this for you for the fucking Gremlins thing, and I just ended up putting it on randomly and said, "Let's go with it." Why not?
That looks a little bit like cultural appropriation, Dan. I don't think that's acceptable.
You think I care about that? You know me how well now?
No, I'm joking. I wasn't sure if you heard me
for a second. I'm like,
no, man, no. Like anti-woke, anti-PC. That's me.
Yep.
What's been going on, man?
Yeah, I know. I figured, Alexi, that probably no one was, so that's why I did it. Because
before we get started with this stream tonight, obviously we're going to be doing a countdown video of top 50 horror films of all time, according to a website I've completely forgotten the name of. It's Farout magazine. It's a brand new list, so that's why I was kind of intrigued because it's it's like October 2022. So be interesting to see if anything like relatively new makes the list. But the weekend 2 weeks ago did I think it was like top 60 action movies of all time with Griffin. Apparently, there's been a bit of an issue because some of the movies in that list don't actually exist,
So,
which doesn't make any
they,
sense.
what? They don't exist?
They don't exist because
No.
the
They don't exist.
Terminator. They don't exist because Aliens, Terminator 1, Terminator 2. According to Jennifer Lawrence, any movie that features a female action lead didn't exist until the Hunger Games, according to her in an interview. So yeah, according to Jennifer Lawrence, action movies with a female lead did not exist until 2012. So obviously, I must have imagined Linda Hamilton leading a Terminator movie in 1984. I must have imagined Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver.
Talking about yesterday with Jennifer.
Yeah, so Jennifer Lawrence basically has ruined my childhood because none of these things ever happened. They were all figments of my imagination. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So,
well, kind of.
I mean, since 20, so
the non-existent,
they don't exist anymore. According to Jennifer Lawrence,
wiped off the face of the earth.
Thanks, Jennifer.
We got to send her a letter.
It's just bullshit. Oh man, it's just so ridiculous. These bratty little whiny millennials who
crazy
making $50 million a movie, complaining nonstop. It's just crazy.
No, Gareth, you can only name 3. That's the problem. I was expecting like a few more from him. All right. So what is this magazine again, or website that this list is off of?
Yeah, this is like a brand new 50 greatest horror films of all time, Farout magazine. But it was
what website? I don't remember the website.
Sorry,
the website that is from?
Yeah, it's called Farout. No,
I heard you say website.
It's called it's a website, but they call themselves a magazine, so it's faroutmagazine.com. So it's basically a website.
Oh, okay.
Pretends to be a magazine, basically. But with this being like a brand new sort of like, yeah, this being a brand new sort of like list. I don't know why. I'd be curious to see what's made.
No, this ain't mine because I'm not charged. Is all right, Chad. Am I frozen or is Mike frozen?
You're not frozen. Well, you're kind of buffering slightly. The audio's not frozen.
You sounded like a robot just now. I can't hear you.
I? Can you hear me?
Well, whoever it is, I'm just gonna back and come back in. Let's see if that works.
Absolutely done. She totally is. I'm not. I'm just assuming it's JT's got. I mean, I can't imagine. Like, it looks fine on my end. JT's visuals are a little bit aren't great, so I'm guessing it's JT. I mean, guys, let me know. It was. Did you notice any issues with me at all? Yeah, Tomb Raider. Yeah, Tomb Raider. Obviously, now. Yeah, Tomb Raider obviously is problematic now because Tomb Raider was obviously made and the game was released in the late 90s, movie released in the early 2000s. So obviously, a big-breasted, attractive woman now is very, very, very problematic. So obviously, that's why they went with Vikander, whatever her name is, for the remake. And she's still a very, very attractive woman, but she wasn't quite, the curvy sort of buxom brunette that Angelina Jolie was, or the video game character was. But Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. To me, there was another one with a strong female lead.
Yeah, that's good.
You're good.
Yeah, I actually knew it because at that time I had this data on in the Wi-Fi off. So it is switched. It is good, and we can count down horror movies.
Okay, let me get into this now. Let me just. This is the bit I always struggle with now. So I've got to present, share screen. This is where I can't see the chat now. So
Anybody watch anything good lately?
okay, so I can't see the chat now. So
You're far out.
JT, help me out now.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so 50 greatest horror films of all time. This is a bang up to date, 17th of October 2022. The fact that we got Jack Nicholson here for The Shining, I'm already getting concerns that they're going to go the easy route and have Exorcist and Shining 1 and 2.
Psycho.
Hope not. There's Michael Myers, though, so we know we're going to get Halloween, which...
Unless they're just faking this out and it's not
yeah.
on
I mean, I won't forget the disappointments from the one I did a while
30.
back with the...
37.
Yeah, oh yeah, and the one before that as well, where it wasn't even in the top 100 greatest movies of all time. I was like,
that was great.
But let's just get right into it because it's so we've got 50 films to count down. So let's just count down. And like in the chat, let me know what you think is going to be. You might get a sense of where stuff's going to place just based on where other films place, because websites usually have an agenda. Let's be honest. Websites, magazines, they've usually got like some sort of agenda. They like what they like. So certain stuff is going to place highly. Other stuff maybe not so much. So you might get an idea of where stuff's going to place just based on how things pan out for the first like 30 or 40 films. But so I only looked at the first. I had a brief glance at this website just for the thumbnail, so I knew movies was put in the thumbnail when in the top 50. Hence the very first choice. I've already gone past it. A film I fucking despise, The Babadook. I hate this film so much.
Yeah, you don't like it, yeah.
No, I hate this film.
Nothing great. The kid's annoying as shit.
Yeah.
But it's got some cool stuff in it. I was just surprised because I saw 49 before 50, and I said, there's no fucking way that movie's on here.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit. I've not seen this on a list yet of greatest horror movies. So let's skip right to 49. So Salo, 120 Days of Sodom. I've not seen this film.
You don't want to see it.
No, they've got the year wrong there because it's not 1957. It's a 70s movie, right?
Yeah.
It's like 77.
It's not. What's the year? Why? What's the year?
They put it as 1957. There's no way a movie like this was getting made in 57. Yeah, it's 1977, right? Yeah, I don't particularly want to see this film. Really, it's just I can't really see what I'd get out of it. For someone who's like maybe some point down the line I'll check it out, but I don't know. I'm sure it's got artistic merit, but
not much. I mean, it's always brought up with like the extreme films that like a lot of horror fans, I feel like a decent majority of them, like at a certain phase, like in their life, like usually like kind of in their teens or so, you are seeking out like the most disturbing movies there are.
Yeah.
And then you hear, Cannibal Holocaust and Serbian Film and Salo, but Salo is just not good for me at all, really. There's nothing redeeming about it for me. But I do know people who like it. And that's
okay.
Cool.
Number 48, another movie I really, really think was vastly overrated, The Witch. Yeah. Not a fan of this film. Do you like this film? I can't remember.
No.
It's I just think it's a little bit pretentious. And like I say, it's for me as well that you take a bunch of because it's obviously set way back in like the 1600s. So you're taking these English actors I think that's it. English, Irish, Scottish actors, and placing them in, the 1600s, and they're trying to do the whole oldie worldy way of talking, thee, thou. It doesn't really work for me. I don't think that the level of the acting is. They're all good actors in their own right. I've seen them in other stuff, but they don't pull off that sort of oldie worldy language. It doesn't feel natural when they're talking. It just feels a little bit cliched, if that makes sense, because they're not clearly not comfortable with that way of talking. I mean,
They are all great actors. My issue with the movie is just I find it boring.
It is
I
boring as well for me.
Boring.
I mean, I do find it boring as well.
Yeah, that's my major issue with it.
And I know it's one of those because it's an A24 movie, and it's because it's set in the 1600s, and it's got like a cast who were like regarded as good. They are good actors. Don't get me wrong, but it almost feels like you can't criticize it. It's almost when it's like if you say I don't like that film, you're worried that people are going to come out and say, "Oh, you don't really get horror, or you don't get like art horror," and it's like. But it's like there are other A24. I love Under the Skin, which is very artsy. That's an A24 movie.
X and Pearl are my favorite of the year.
Yeah. So, you can level that accusation against me if you want, but at the end of the day, I've seen other A24 movies. I've seen other A24 movies, other movies at like a similar sort of genre, which they are quite. I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's not in your face sort of like horror. It's very much discreetly done, but it just didn't like flow for me. I think the biggest thing for me is just I can't get a movie set in the 1630s and just know. I think there's going to be an issue with me getting on board with it. It's a bit like the Fear Street thing with the Fear Street movie from like the 1600s.
Man, I got deja vu.
I kind of knew I was going to hate that before I even started watching it.
I feel like we had this exact conversation on one of the other lists when we were talking about. I got like deja vu now.
We probably did. 47, we got Brain Dead, obviously Peter Jackson. It's Dead Alive, I think.
Yeah, Dead Alive.
Yeah, it's Brain Dead in the UK. Yeah, I've got no issues with this being there. I mean, it's
my favorite zombie movie of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it's gaudy as hell. It's Peter Jackson just, letting loose, and before he kind of became like a mainstream director. Slightly bigger budget than Bad Taste, obviously, because that would put him on the map almost. But I mean, this movie, I wouldn't say for me it's a top 50 film, but I do like the film. It's definitely a fun time.
If anything, it's a blast to watch.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Really, people seeing it for the first time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it is out. A lot of people will probably watch this film, like younger people now, and they would see Peter Jackson's name and think that can't be the Peter Jackson, and they'd be like, yeah, that was Peter Jackson.
I'd love to see Jackson after his fame and notorious, like how big he got after the Lord of the Rings and stuff, go back and do a splatter film like that.
Yeah, imagine with the budget of
yeah, exactly. I'd kill to see that, but who knows if he dropped the ball or not.
Number 46, a movie I've not seen. This is The Devils, Ken Russell from 1971. I've not seen this film, and I've heard a lot about it, but I don't know. It's just never really sort of been something that I've really, really wants to see. Have you seen it, JT? Sorry.
No, I haven't seen it. I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Very much of its time. It released around the same time as like Wicker Man, and yeah, I mean it's well, Ken Russell was like notorious in the UK. He directed a few TV shows in the 80s, which were kind of like equally sort of like offensive to people, and they wanted them cancelled constantly, you know, and they weren't because it was the 1980s, so things didn't get cancelled then. So I don't know how we go down in today's society. Probably not too well, but
I'd assume not.
number 45, we've got Henry Portraits of a Serial Killer.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. It's a great film. Like, I mean, just grimy as hell.
Yep.
That 80s aesthetic as well. Like, just the 80s. It's like the alternative 80s. You know, quite often we look at the 80s as this time of like neon lights, and we think of Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, and you know, in reality, the 80s could be really grey and grim, and a movie like this kind of really, highlights that. You know, it's grimy, it's nasty, it's.
I feel like Maniac does a similar feel.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Like an alternate 80s, like almost like more like a real 80s.
Yeah.
That neon 80s is like kind of an 80s of like a kid growing up in the suburbs, like a Stranger Things child.
Yeah.
Whereas the grittiness of like Henry or
it's 45
or Maniac is kind of like that's like the reality of a kid growing up in the inner cities, you know.
No, yeah.
It wasn't neon lights and suburbia.
New York City in 1980, like very well.
Yeah.
Not like I was there to see it, but fucking had some pictures and shit.
Number 44, we've got Hereditary. I mean, I do like Hereditary, but I do think it's overrated slightly. I know.
I love Hereditary, but I do feel it's fine right where it is.
Yeah,
like if it was thrown at like in the top 20, then I would have an issue.
Yeah, I think it featured in a similar position on another list we looked at. It was similar. Like, it was like, you know, it wasn't like way up there. But with Hereditary being 44, I'm guessing we're not going to see Midsummer. And I do love Midsummer. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Midsummer. I think that's
I love Midsummer.
I love Midsummer. I think it's arguably A24's best film. But yeah, Hereditary 44. So I mean, yeah, it's Midsummer may not feature. I'm guessing I'm just thinking that's
mostly just because I feel like a lot more people favor Hereditary.
Yeah, definitely. 43, not the original slasher film, although a lot of people try to credit it with it, and it's not Psycho either, but a film that a lot of people debate about what came first, and I'm not even entirely sure.
The Chicken or the Egg?
Peep and Tom from 1960. Because obviously this is a British movie and Psycho's an American movie, and I don't quite know whether one came first in the UK and one came first. I don't know, but this movie's definitely ruined the career of the director Michael Powell. He just completely disappeared.
That movie with making that movie in 1960.
Yeah.
I was thinking that a little bit. He says that this already feels like another we Googled horror movies list.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of deja vu, like from another list we did, like as we're going down like each one.
You will definitely get like a lot of like correlation with, you know, these lists, because I think, you know, I think the closer you get to I mean, with it being a top 50 as well rather than a top 100, they're going to condense a lot of these similar films into the top 10. I mean, I do get a bit fed up of like this whole like, it's an easy route to go with like having The Shining and The Exorcist in like the top 5. It's just because they're quite safe choices. It's like, because they're obviously great films, and most people regard them as great films, but I think there's a lot of people out there who just think me personally, I like The Exorcist. I don't think it's anywhere near one of my favorite horror films, and I'd say the same. I'd say the same with The Shining.
Big differences in opinion that we've had.
Yeah,
The Exorcist is a masterpiece, and that's the thing where like even though, yeah, like it is predictable, like the top fives and stuff or top threes for most of these lists, they are there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they are great fucking horror movies, like the cream of the crop. Unless it's just some crazy list and like it's just random shit.
No. Yeah. We're not going to see Black Christmas 2019 in this list, so
no, I pray we don't see it ever anywhere again. Question: how do I get? I can't like get rid of Video Tasty's thing that's been sitting here for his comment. Only you can control the comments, right?
Sorry. Whose comment?
Garrett's been on the screen.
Oh, what? Why? What's he done?
No, his comments on the screen. I'm saying, how do you get it off?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Hang on.
I
sorry.
can't do it.
Yeah. Sorry.
I just don't like staring at Garrett for that long, you know.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Because I've got sorry.
Still in. God damn.
So right, hang on. Oh, that's better. I can see. Hang on, that's not. No, I want to go full screen with this. So, hang on a minute. Hang on, that's better. Okay, so Let the Right One In, 42. No issues with this.
Great. No. Great vampire movie.
Yeah, I've not seen the American remake. Is it American remake?
Yeah, it's just called Let Me In.
Let Me In. Yeah, I've not seen that one.
They started a series too, I think, recently, right? Pretty sure they. Yeah, I forget if I think it's Let the Right One In, but the series. That's all I know about it. Yeah, Jamie, I was waiting for somebody to catch that. It's the whole thing. I'll explain it later. If not, we won't get through this list.
41. This is a movie I've not seen. I've never even heard of it. Come and See. Russian movie. Don't know anything about this film. Not
a thing.
Hopefully, Lorne might jump on. Dan might know about this film. Lorne would probably know about this film if he was on. I don't know anything about this film, so I can't even comment on it.
I can just say the name. Dawn of the Dead.
Number 40. Dawn of the Dead, 78. Yeah, no issues with this at all. This is my favorite Dead movie. More than Day.
Yeah,
definitely more than Night. Definitely more than I'm Night the Living Dead. I'm not the biggest fan of Night the Living Dead. It's one of those films. I think it's a film like I respect more than I enjoy. You know, when you get a film that
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was just saying about Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby, it never did anything for me. But I'll never say it's a bad movie or like it's not a classic and deserves it.
Yeah,
it's just not.
Just because of what it did at the time as well, you know.
Oh yeah.
Dawn of the Dead. I mean, it's long as well. If it's like a long movie as well, but especially with the special edition, you know, it's a special edition, like 2 hours 20 minutes or something. It's like it goes on through, but it's never boring. It's always entertaining, and obviously George Romero had a lot to say about.
I thought you were talking about Baby. You're talking about Dawn again. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, there's
a few cuts of it.
Yeah, the longest cut is
because Argento
long. It's a long
Italian cut. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Number 39. Sorry, go on, JT.
No, just hi to Dave. David's here.
Okay. Number 39, I've not seen Les Diaboliques from 1955.
This was on another list. We didn't know.
Yeah, it's part of the Criterion collection, so it's obviously definitely got kudos because if the Criterion collection are doing a special 4K or Blu-ray for it, and it's obviously worthy. But yeah, I don't know any. I'm getting obviously it's a French movie. I don't know anything about it, to be fair, so I can't really comment. Number 38, we've got the Blair Witch Project, which was number 100 in the one we did a few weeks ago. Yeah. I thought 100 was like harsh.
Yeah,
The,
and that's
the
coming
impact the movie,
for me. I thought it still
yeah,
was harsh for 100.
the impact the movie had, you know,
Yeah,
in terms
that
of like
alone.
the influence alone. It's like whatever my opinions of the film are, which I do like the
Yeah,
film. I don't think it's amazing, but the impact it had, then it totally deserves to be high because the impact. Obviously, a lot of people were massively impacted. I mean, you only need to look at the found footage. You know, obviously, people say that the last broadcast came first. Obviously, you know, Cannibal Holocaust was
it
1980,
was
but
recorded.
that wasn't influencing anything.
Yeah,
But
I was saying the
obviously,
last broadcast. Sure, it was filmed first, but was released after, or maybe vice
yeah, and it
versa.
wasn't. Yeah, nobody was influenced by the last broadcast. The Blair Witch Project.
No, it's not a good movie.
You know,
Like,
a lot
it's
of
not.
people. You know, the amount of found footage movies that came off the back of Blair Witch, you know, was massive. I mean, I'll
Yeah,
always say, you know, as good as Halloween is, as a classic as it is, I've always thought that Friday the 13th may be more responsible for the slasher genre than Halloween,
yeah.
only because
Absolutely.
if you look at what dropped if you look at what dropped in 79 as opposed to what dropped in 81, not a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
slasher movies were dropping in 79. If you look at when Friday the
yeah.
13th came out, God, 81 was just like awash with
No,
slasher films. So, you know, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying Halloween is obviously the better film, but I'm just, you know, 79 wasn't really a golden year for slasher movies, whereas 81 was just freaking insane.
yeah. That's when they just started cranking them out like crazy. But we
Yeah,
did get Tourist Trap in '79, which is one of
we
my
did.
favorite.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't even know, kind of a slasher, but it's just such a great movie.
Best thing about Tourist Trap, Tanya
But
Roberts in those denim shorts.
yeah. There's so many
Yeah.
great. That whole movie is just like near like perfect for me almost. Like I just enjoy everything about it.
Okay, I think we're going to repeat ourselves again now because I think I remember criticizing The Changeling. Well, it might have been with Griffin. I don't like this film. I think this film's boring.
I love
Yeah. So it might have been you I was talking about with, but I don't like the
just
film.
George, great and everything.
He's good. I just don't. It just moves along
I
a
can see
snail's
where,
pace.
yeah, I can see where you're coming
Yeah.
from.
But I can see why it's here, but it's just not for me. If I'm being honest. Number 36, we got Kwaidan from 1964. I'm guessing this is Japanese.
Oh, of course, it's by
I've
Masashi
not seen it.
Kobayashi, like
I've
from
not seen.
Usual Suspects. Hey, Griffin.
Yeah, have you seen this?
No, I just
No.
said Kobayashi is the name in the Usual Suspects.
Yeah, you sounded like you're an authority then on the film, and I was like, oh, he's seen this. And
Oh
like...
no, I just read Kobayashi. That's from another movie.
Yeah,
I've never.
I've not seen this. Yeah,
Probably never will.
Yeah. Japanese horror movies from the 1960s are not my forte, I must say. Sadly, it's probably an amazing film as well.
I never got big into Japanese horror in general. Like
Yeah.
I like a select decent amount, but not too much. Like, it's just not my thing.
35, we got The Haunting from 1963. This is always one that appears fairly high up.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Obviously, a lot better than its 1990s remake with Catherine Zeta-Jones. But
yeah. I don't think I've seen that.
That was probably one of the. That was probably. I'm trying to think. That was probably one of the early remakes because that came before the 2000s remake Obsession, didn't it? Didn't that come out in the 1990s? If I remember rightly. I could be wrong. I'm sure the remake came out way before like the obsession with remaking movies.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I'm pretty sure it did because like don't you feel like The Ring kind of like kicked off like the remake type thing?
The
The Ring was
Ring,
like you could like
um,
kick off.
House on Haunted Hill from '99 or 2000 as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And isn't 13
That
Ghosts
was
a remake as well? I could have sworn 13 Ghosts is a remake of an old film as well.
I'm not sure. I was just talking about 13 Ghosts or yesterday or today, who knows, with somebody, and that didn't come up, so I can't give you an answer. Griffin though does say that Sweden is one of the most gorgeous films ever made. Absolutely stunning art design and cinematography. Quite on.
Number 34, Eyes Without a Face from 1960. Yeah, I've not seen this. If it's like a European film from the 1960s, the chances are I've not seen it. So,
That's good.
yeah, I've not seen this.
And the face,
Have you seen it?
she looks creepy as shit. Like it's effective how she looks in that.
Yeah.
It's not something I throw on often at all, though. But.
Number 33, Pulse. I think I've seen this, but I can't remember because I watched a lot of these J horrors in the early 2000s. The Eye, a lot of them had a similar sort of premise. They were all kind of doing the same thing. It was like kind of like a haunted. Something was haunted. Yeah. So I probably have seen this, but I don't remember. I do remember The Eye being really good from like 2002, I think. I don't know if you've seen The Eye. The elevator scene in that film is just so good.
There was a lot of good stuff in like those Japanese horror films that were like coming out then.
Yeah.
I feel
I probably have.
Those post resurrection name tag because it's like covering my face. I don't like
it. Number 32, Silence of the Lambs. I've never really seen this as a horror film. For me, it's always been a thriller.
Me too.
I just don't see it as a horror movie, but I can totally see why it's there, but certainly the final like third with Buffalo Bill in the house and the night vision, that is certainly like definitely, edge of the seat stuff. But for the majority of the film, it is kind of plays out like a thriller.
I don't consider it a horror either.
Yeah, it's certainly, obviously, it's everything ages. It definitely feels like an early 90s film. The cinematography, the opening credits are so 90s.
No, it's very
90s. If you look back to those early 90s films, the way the opening credits it's so of its time, and that's not a bad thing. It's just
it doesn't feel dated still.
Yeah,
I don't think it feels dated at all. Even though I know what you mean. It does have that 90s, early 90s.
Yeah.
With the credits.
But
a little more.
Who was it who was saying? Was it Gareth? Oh, Gareth, when we did our Black Christmas watch along, he came up with this. It was just I mean, it was probably just some sort of like internet sort of rumor, that the guy in what's the guy in the cell of Silence of the Lambs where he's basically throws the seed
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill.
Oh,
no, not Buffalo Bill. No,
he goes
is
in
the
cell with Lecter? Like in where Lecter
is it Miggs?
in another cell.
Is it multiple Miggs?
Yeah, and he chucks the semen on.
He's saying there's like an online sort of rumor that's actually oh God, name escapes me. Black Christmas Billy. It's meant to be Billy from Black Christmas.
Really?
That was quite. Yeah, it's just a cool little sort of like.
That's interesting.
Internet. It's obviously not. It's just a nice little like sort of idea, but
just like kind of with Blair Witch, there was a theory that the Mike and I forget the guy brought Heather into the woods to kill her. Which
Right.
it's interesting for a second until like it makes no sense. Then it's just
Yeah.
like it's one of those internet things, like you said.
Yeah. 31, we have got The Descent. Some great jump scares. I'm not the biggest fan. I do like it, but
I like
I've
The
got
Descent a
issues
lot.
with the film. Yeah, I wouldn't put it this high. To be fair, I definitely think it's a good film, but 31st Greases Hot. No,
No. I agree with you on
it's
that.
got
But
it's
I
got
do
it's
love
got
the
I've
film.
got it's got a one fantastic jump scare, but
yeah. But no, not
it's
31 best horror movie.
No.
I agree.
Number 30, we got Wreck. This
Wreck
one always
great.
feat's highly. Yeah,
Wreck
it's very good.
Such a great.
Very
One of the best
claustrophobic.
found footage movies.
Yeah, because they did it at I lost track of all the because you got Wreck.
Quarantine was the remake.
Quarantine is the American remake. Then they did Wreck 2, and did they remake Wreck 2 in America as well? I've only seen this film.
I think they did do a Quarantine 2. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone in chat? Who knows? I think they did do a sequel to Quarantine, the remake.
They probably did.
But if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
29 got Videodrome.
Chris said they did. They did.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't great. Chris said. I believe it. Videodrome is great.
Yeah, I love Videodrome. Yeah, definitely.
James Woods.
1983. Yeah, it almost feels this is a film that would almost be ripe for a remake, but with using modern technology, using the internet. You know, it's kind of got that.
Yeah.
It's got a futuristic. Obviously, it looks dated now, but it's got that sort of futuristic vibe to it that you can totally see them doing something different with it now, and it'd probably be a disaster if they did remake it. But you could probably see some way of them doing it where they use the internet in some way to in a similar sort of fashion. But it would probably
like fear.com. Wasn't fear.com like the website and shit that was like killing people?
That's like from 2001 or something.
Yeah, it was like right near the ring, like right after the ring, before. Near it. It was near it somewhere.
Yeah, it was one of those early sort of internet films.
Yeah.
Which, a lot of those sort of like late 90s, early 2000s movies, which kind of tried to be all like edgy using the internet, and now just kind of look really,
and now,
really, you know.
It's like, remember when the internet was that bad?
Like, dial up and number 28, we've got Hellraiser, Clive Barker, obviously.
We know how we feel about this,
I'm not the biggest fan of Hellraiser. I've said this before.
We both have, I think, numerous times. We've said this. We like the first two, but we're not that big on them.
Yeah, don't mind the remake.
The
remake was okay. Actually. Yeah, the remake was okay.
Yeah, for not being a big Hellraiser fan.
Yeah, I'd say Hellraiser franchise suffers from just too many bad sequels. You know,
I wouldn't know because I haven't seen past the third.
Well, I've not. I mean, okay. I'll hold my hands up. I'm being okay. So
I wasn't calling you out. I just.
Yeah, no. I get that. What I mean is, a lot of people who I respect, you know, people in this chat who've watched the Hellraiser movies and they've not had a good time with a lot of these sequels. You know, there's a lot of them, and I know, there's a lot of the people in the chat and other people on YouTube, who I respect, and they've had a bad experience with some of these sequels. You know, it's like, and like life's too short to be watching like a 9th Hellraiser sequel. You know, I mean the remake. I did watch the remake because
Lauren's in the chat.
Oh, what's up, Lauren?
Just have to.
I'm sure Lauren appreciates, you know, the Hellraiser to 12, whatever the, it was. But
Well, he said,
it's
what
just
did he miss? He said to start over because he missed
Oh,
the
okay.
beginning.
He'll have to. Well, yeah, we'll mention what was that movie? Yeah, well, okay, we'll just quickly scroll back because there was a couple of
Yeah, the
movies
one
which we
that we were
didn't know.
saying Lauren would know. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody knows this film. Lorne will know it, I'm sure. Let me just go to it.
The French one?
It was this one in a minute.
What, the other league?
Yeah, we'll come to it any second now. Oh shit, where's it gone? Hang on, it was further up than this, wasn't it? It was higher than Late Night.
Yeah.
Come and See.
Yes.
Come and See from 1985, Russian movie. So we don't know what this film is. We got no idea.
Please, Lauren, explain and enlighten us.
Explain.
And the rest of that.
Does it belong to be in the top 50? And if not, or if so, why so? So let's scroll back down again.
You have 30 seconds. Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, so
hey, Cliff.
where are we up to now? We up to okay, so
we're
on number 27, and we have got The Omen. No arguments with this.
I think it should be higher. I think it should be higher.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
The
argue.
Omen's a
Definitely
film that doesn't get praised enough that it should be.
Do you ever feel like The Omen's kind of like is in the shadow of The Exorcist, almost because of like the time period as well?
Yeah, I can see
Exorcist
that.
73. It almost feels like it's a similar. Okay, it's 3 years. It came out 3 years after, but as time goes on, the years become smaller. So it kind of ties in with the whole mid-70s like religious horror aspect.
Religious stuff. Yeah.
A lot of people talk because The Exorcist is like the religious horror movie of the 70s in a way. So The Omen kind of plays second fiddle.
Yeah.
So a lot of people kind of
saying.
Yeah. Because you'll never see The Omen ahead of The Exorcist in a.
No.
I'm not saying it should be, but I actually like The Omen more than The Exorcist. But like you'll never see The Omen higher than The Exorcist. Yeah, you'll never see The Omen higher than The Exorcist in a list like this. It's always The Exorcist, and
if it's a personal list by someone, wrong. Sure, but a list like
but
these, no,
in a mainstream list, it's like The Exorcist is always like it's always upper tier. Omen is always kind of like mid tier, and it's a shame in a way because I just think this is such a fucking good film, man. It's so effective.
No, we got our answer from Lauren here. Come and See is certainly horrific, but it's more of an anti-Nazi, pro-communist film, kind of 1984, but pro-communist. I'd compare it to Salo. Okay. Lauren, you think Salo belongs like at 49 of the best horror movies ever? Because we didn't think so. We want to hear your thoughts.
Okay, we got 26 Nightmare on Elm Street. Now this is interesting because clearly we're going to get Halloween in the top 25. Now I'm just curious whether we're going to get Friday. We're not going to get a Friday the 13th sequel, are we? We're going to get. This is a very no. I think we'll get the first film. This is a very very normie sort of list. Yeah. The way it's panning out, they're throwing a few deep cuts in there, but it's playing out like quite a normie sort of like the fact that Nightmare on Elm Street is 26. It's playing out in that way that I think we'll get Halloween at like number 7 or 8. I'm going to call it now. I'm calling it now. I'm saying we're going to get Halloween between 6 and 10. And we're going to get Friday the 13th between 11 and 20.
And I'm calling it now. I'll call that we're getting The Exorcist at 1, Psycho at 2, Shining at 3, or you can switch to 3. And The Thing will be in the top 5.
Yeah, I think
if it's not, I'll be pissed like usual. But
I think you might be right on all points there.
You sure we didn't do this exact list before? I keep getting deja vu like crazy.
It is a little bit. I suppose that's what's. I think this might have to be the last of these lists. It's good for views, but we are suffering from deja vu a little bit.
Right.
Number 25. The last list we did. I think we did the last one we did. Me and you did a couple weeks ago. It's got like 150 views.
The
And then the one we did with Griffin as well, it's got like 150, 160 views. So people like them, you know. I think people like it. It definitely. I think when people, I think it hits those algorithms. You know, when people see top
People
50,
like lists.
top 100, people do like lists. Yeah, definitely. I know I do. So
Yeah, they like top lists. They like shopping lists. They like all types of lists. Screen, no.
JT's getting triggered now.
For me.
JT's getting triggered. This is a
I
great
don't get
fucking
triggered.
movie.
I just say fuck no.
What are you talking about,
I
man?
move on.
This is a This is one of the best. This is the best.
Lauren, back me
horror
up.
Movie. This is the best horror movie of the 1990s. I'm saying it now.
I know.
I love it. I love Scream.
Yeah.
In the chat, if you love Scream,
cool.
we just put thumbs up in the
Raise
chat. Raise
your hands.
Scream. Yeah, if you love Scream, thumbs up in the chat. I'm only talking about the original. Don't get into sequels. Scream 1 is a modern. Is it fair to call it a modern classic?
Thank you, Dan.
It is 26 years old, but yeah,
no,
almost single-handedly one of the films responsible for the horror resurgence we got. You know,
I wouldn't say that. I would say slasher series resurgence, because there were a hell of a lot of good movies in the early 90s. You got
what the time
we wouldn't have Mouth of Madness, The Cat in the Brain by Lucio Fulci. If you want to consider Silence of the Lambs, if you want to consider Misery, which I don't really consider Misery, but like a horror film, straight horror movie, but that's like Academy Award-winning fucking movies. So horror was doing all right. It was just the slasher like franchises.
In terms of slashers, though, if most people who like Scream will like, I know we did last summer, will like Urban Legend. But for anybody who says they like, Urban Legend, or they like, I know what you did last summer, if they say they don't like Scream, you have to realize without Scream, those movies wouldn't exist. That's just a fact.
I wish Scream didn't exist because I don't like those either. Urban Legend actually is like okay.
I fucking love Urban Legend. I love Urban Legend.
It being okay for me, it's better than the other two. So
look,
it's the best.
They gave Robert Englund was given work in 2 of those movies. You know, Scream,
and was there?
Not Scream. No, sorry, no, not in Scream. Sorry, in Urban Legend. It was fucking Henry Winkler in Scream.
Yes.
I'm getting confused. Yeah, but I love Robert Englund in Urban Legend.
Henry Winkler is like the most inappropriate fucking principal. He's like threatening to fucking carve the kids up and stuff like that.
Oh, hang on, mate. Robert Englund was in Scream, wasn't he? Didn't he play the?
No, Wes Craven played the.
Wes Craven, sorry, played the janitor.
It was his cameo.
Yeah.
Justice Freddy.
Yeah, and Robert Englund is obviously the teacher in Urban Legend. I'm getting.
That's right. He's the teacher.
Yeah,
that I do remember.
It's late. I'm getting confused.
I haven't slept in like 2.5 days. There you go, Lauren. You were a little late with my defense, but Scream is the most damaging film to modern horror's trajectory. It's barely an okay film. The sequels all suck horrifically. Couldn't have said it better. For me.
Could somebody in the could one of the mods please block Lauren from the chat?
No, I do not block from the chat.
I am not happy with that appraisal.
Dan has the same opinion almost, so Dan, you would have to block him too. And if you block them, I'm walking.
Yeah, the most eloquence,
the flies.
Horror aficionados on YouTube are both going against my opinion. It's like, what can I say to that? If Lauren and Dan aren't agreeing with me, I'm fucked.
No, it's good. I got good opinions on that. And you know why? It also it kind of gets me like more like mad about Scream like right in this period is because every day I get on YouTube, there's just clickbait after clickbait of just Scream 6, like new details and constantly. and it's
I
just
mean,
so annoying to look at.
that movie drops like in like 3-4 months.
I
Something.
hope it drops off a cliff and is never seen again. I
Well, I
really don't
wanted to
like
drop
crazy.
because I want to do my Scream 6 post-mortem video, and that'll be good for
Oh yes,
views.
sir. All right,
So,
we'll do that. I'll
you
know,
know.
if we
Let's
do
get
that.
anyway
Yeah.
back to the list. 24, we got The Fly.
So we're
Yeah.
taking views and throwing away our equalities. The Fly's amazing.
Yeah, I prefer Videodrome. If we're talking Cronenberg, I would prefer Videodrome ahead of The Fly. But I can totally get why it's there.
Oh yeah, I like Videodrome
Um,
more, but I would prefer the Brood over both.
Oh yeah, definitely. Or Scanners.
Rabid too,
It's like
Scanners too.
love Romance,
Cronenberg was on a
Shivers.
fucking roll back then. Shivers,
Sh-
yep.
sh-
I love Cronenberg. I haven't
Cronenberg,
covered any Cronenberg.
if you look at, you
That's
need to
great.
get onto that, man.
I know. I actually
if you look
planned
at
on it like months ago. Never did.
If you look at Cronenberg's run from like Shivers through to The Fly, it almost like completely is like a parallel. Is that the right word? To John Carpenter's run from like Assault on Precinct 13 to Big Trouble in Little China. It's like a 10-year, 10-year period where it was just dropping like amazing film after amazing film.
You know, who had a better run of that? Dario Argento, from his first film all the way to opera. 2 decades.
Yeah.
But that's a shame that there's no Argento film on here. There might be Suspiria.
Well, we might get Suspiria. We'll get. I think Suspiria will be on this list. I don't think nothing else will.
It's a crime if it's not.
Yeah, I think Suspiria will be on the list. To be fair,
didn't we get opera on that 100 greatest list? We got opera.
Yeah,
too,
I think we did. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think we got a couple of Argentos. 23, 28 days later. See, I think Weeks Later is a better film.
Dude,
I much prefer the sequel. Again, this is a case of
it's been a while since I've seen both.
Playing it safe and just picking the original. But I think Weeks is a better film. I mean, I think the opening half an hour of this film is great, but after that, I don't think it holds up. But
I'm indifferent on it. I don't love it. I don't think it's anything bad or anything at all. It's good. That's like how I feel about it. And then Sean in chat saying Deep Red over Suspiria. Like, dude, are we sure we're not in the Twilight Zone? Like repeating like time?
Yeah,
because I feel like every other thing is like I've heard.
No, yeah. Sean loves Deep Red.
I know he does.
Yeah. So I knew Sean would be pushing Deep Red. 22 Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I don't think this film was in even.
It wasn't.
No, this is an amazing film. I think maybe the original was there. I love this film so much.
Yeah,
fucking adore this film.
It's fucking great.
It's almost.
I don't think in the other one.
The fact that like Donald Sutherland, like the final scenes become like a meme. The fact where he's pointing, that's become like a meme. But I mean, it's so much more than that. It's just it's that build intention, build sense of dread, and that later was it filmed in San Francisco? I seem to think
I don't remember where.
It was San Francisco, but I just someone in the chat telling me I'm sure it was San Francisco, but
Lauren will know. He says Invasion 78 is the best remake. I would. Yeah. It's up there, but the thing is for me.
There's a skyscraper that plays not a prominent role, but it's always there in the background in the film. I'm sure it's from San Francisco, just from playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I'm sure that building is. Sure, that building is in it.
Hey, Jessica.
What's up, Jess? So number 21, we have got Nosferatu of 1922. This is a film that's always. I think this was there. Yeah, I've not seen it.
It's like
I respect.
It'll always be up there.
Yeah, I respect what it is. I just I'm not even sure where that. I mean, where would I watch this film?
It's
mean,
public domain. You can watch it.
is
I'm
it?
pretty
Is it?
sure.
I wasn't sure.
Wait, I don't want to say that because I don't know 100%.
Yeah, it's just
Pretty
that.
sure it is, but Lauren, we need an answer.
Yeah. Number 20, we got The Innocents from 1961. This was a film that was in another list as well. So yeah, once again, I've not seen this.
No.
But Deborah Kerr's in it, and Deborah Kerr is she in a Cary Grant film where she looked. I can't remember if it's the same actress, but yeah, I've not seen this film. So I don't know a thing about it.
No, me neither.
Number 19, Malcolm Worth in London. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, the best werewolf movie ever made. I don't understand this love for the Howling over this film.
I was just saying the words that they were coming out of your mouth. This is like really trippy.
Yeah. Okay. I know. Do you like the Howling over this?
No, I love the Howling, but I think this is a better werewolf movie, and just a better film.
It's just
well
made. It's
yeah.
I've got the Howling to me is just it's B movie level to me, whereas this is just
I don't think the Howling I would consider B level, but I do like American Werewolf higher than that.
I do like Wolfen as well. I do like Wolfen, which is the same. How many werewolf movies came out in like 1980, 1981? It's like they all came out in the same time.
The same, yeah, right. Like they were just sharing like props and stuff.
Yeah. Number 18, we've got Carrie.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, no issues with this. Love the film.
Yep. Excellent.
Have I seen the remake? I think I don't know.
There's two of them. Right? There's a TV one with.
I've not seen the TV. I've seen the 2013
one. Yeah. And then I said there was two, and then I said I couldn't think of the girl's name. And then Lauren answered with the name of the girl in the TV series remake. And I'm waiting for him to do that again now. She's in May. She's in the movie May too, which is a
number 17
very underrated movie. Audition.
Yeah.
Angela Bettis. Yep. Lauren, thank you again. I don't know why I can never remember her name. Yeah,
the fact that auditions number 17, I think Ringu will probably be in the top 15 because it's just following a certain pattern where Audition will be like the second highest J horror film. Ringu will be the highest J horror film. It's just following a certain pattern.
I do Ringu will be on here.
I do like Audition. I think it's. I'm not sure it's got the rewatchability for a lot of films that I like to rewatch. But
it's kind of like it's almost like a comedy at the beginning. Yeah, like a comedy romance comedy, and then it just descends into fucking craziness.
And then you got a scene with like, the body in the bag, and it starts moving. Yeah, and the phone starts ringing. That's
that
takes a dark turn.
That's a great shot.
Number 16, we've got Jaws at 16. Fuck no. What? Is it because it's not really a horror film? Because you can't have Jaws at 16, surely.
It's a fucking amazing movie. So no, it does not deserve to be that low.
I can only assume it's because it's not like a full-on horror. Because Jaws for me is like arguably the greatest film ever made. So I'm surprised by that. Number 15, Suspiria. There we go.
There we go. It's too low, but it's there.
So we know we're not. Sorry, Sean. We're not going to be getting Deep Red in the top 15.
Yeah, we should have Deep Red come higher. We should have Opera come higher and Tenebrae come higher. Maybe even Inferno. For me, like it's just like a favorite, but I do think Suspiria is a better film. But I do like Inferno a little bit better.
And another shock, 14 Halloween. What? No.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the top 10.
Well, we're not getting Friday the 13th then.
Yeah,
If
yes.
Halloween's on the
I didn't think
14th,
so.
yeah,
Yeah, I
we're
didn't think
definitely
we
not
would.
getting, because I thought Halloween was between 6 and 10, so I've been proven wrong there. So
I mean, that was a good guess,
yeah, but I mean,
but
14 is way too low for Halloween. Sorry, it just
no.
is.
Hey, Sean, I love Deep Red. I got your back. Don't you worry.
Number 13, we've got Don't Look Now.
Wasn't this on the list
Yeah,
too?
more than likely. Yeah, Don't Look Now is it
The
is
way
a
you said that
classic.
was funny.
Yeah, yeah, Don't Look Now is a classic.
Yeah,
It's definitely of its time, but that's what makes it such a good film. That's kind of like what I love about these early 70s films, and that's why I'm so excited about this new movie, Ennius Men, which I keep on banging on about to anyone who'll listen.
I heard you
Check out
talk
the
about it.
trailer. Look, set in 1972, I think. Looks like it's made in 1972. Looks
Yeah,
incredible. Drops in January. Can't wait. And I'm just keep on plugging that film because I'm just fucking hyped for that film.
Big T's
So
calling
yeah,
number one. Big T's calling number one as Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I've got a feeling that isn't even in the list.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I
I
don't
think it's
think it is.
possible. I think it's possible. I think it will be, but I think it could be like number 2 or number 3 or not even in the list, which is like
It's not
kind
going
of
to be 2 or 3.
Number 12, Night of the Living Dead.
I'd have Day of the Dead higher.
Yeah,
And Dawn,
I'd,
actually.
I'd have both higher. I'd have Dawn of the Dead remake higher than this. To be fair,
I
it's
wouldn't go that far.
for sheer entertainment. I think Dawn of
Dawn
the
of the
Dead
Dead remake
is
is
just
great.
yeah. Maybe not as important a movie, but
Yeah.
but way too high for me. Number 12, way too high.
And
Number
Lauren,
11,
yes, Deep Red is one of the very best giallos.
number 11 is Rosemary's Baby. So there it is.
Yep.
Rosemary's
I'm
Baby's
out.
number 11.
I'm
I
done.
like the film. I do like the film.
Like I said,
Um,
I will never badmouth. I don't like, you know me. I don't badmouth movies, say they're terrible. I hate them and nothing like that. I have deep respect for it and the classic that it is. It's just one of those movies, like, most people have that, like that classic that everyone hails as like one of the greatest and like a huge classic that just doesn't work for you. And that's one for me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lauren. Rosemary's Baby is so boring for me. It just goes on with nothing. But that's me.
Into the top
Lauren,
10, there you
apparently.
go.
All right, top 10.
Possession, 1981.
That's a great movie.
I've seen this 20 years ago.
Yeah, me either.
It's trippy as hell. Like, I think I don't think I really appreciated the film when I watched it. I think I need to rewatch it because when I watched it, I think I was like just drunk and just watched it and just like didn't really.
I've had that with a lot of movies.
Yeah, so don't really. I think I should have been watching it in like the right frame of mind. So I think it definitely needs to be a rewatch for me.
Yeah, that's why rewatchers are so important to me because anything can change, like your state of mind that you're in the first time watching it, or what's going on in your life, and you cannot be paying attention fully, or like not invested in it. And then you rewatch and you either like it a lot more, or you can like it less. So obviously, those are really only the two ways you can go.
So number 9, Evil Dead 2, which basically means Evil Dead is not in the top 50. So, because I know a lot of people love Evil Dead. I know a lot of people love Evil Dead 2, but
I love Evil Dead 2.
An equal amount of people, a lot of people love the original.
I love them equally.
Over 2. So, yeah, we're not going to get Evil Dead 1 in this list.
Sam Neill is amazing, Sean, in Possession.
Number 8, we have got Ringo. So Ringo is in the top 10.
Okay, you're right. Well, Ringo's in there.
Yeah. It just seems to be a bit like predictable going with Ringo as the highest, like J-horror film. It's like I'm assuming it's the highest. I mean, I can't see anything else being above this, but I mean, great film. Don't get me wrong, but 8, I wouldn't put it at number 8.
Right,
for me, it's
don't be thing.
Yeah, well, we'll see. What did you say for? Did you said for the top 5? You said
I said Thing, Exorcist 1, Psycho 2, Shining 3, or you can switch 2 and 3 around. I'm going by the weird dream I'm having right now of like almost identical as that we did,
Yeah.
and that was the order. So I'm just gonna go with that. The Thing might be 6 or 5.
Yeah, The Thing won't be top 4. Definitely,
Okay.
it's going to be one of the next 3 movies, I
All
think.
right, let's place our bets, Mike. Put your money on the table. I'll put mine.
Okay, I'll
There's no
go.
table in front of me though, so I can't.
Yeah, right. I'm going to go. Yeah, I can't look beyond Exorcist as 1. I really can't.
No.
I just,
Right.
yeah, I think it's going to be the same. I think it is literally going to be The Shining at 2 and The Exorcist at 1, and I think The Thing is going to be number 5. As for
Yeah, I'd
6,
say
4,
5 or 6.
as for 6, 4, and 3, not gonna. No, I can't say, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna The Thing at number 5. So yeah, Figure 5, Shining 2, Exorcist 1.
Psycho.
So Psycho, Shining 7.
Shining 7. So we're
So
both off
okay.
on that shit.
So I
That's a
think
nice switch up though.
So maybe Psycho number 2 then.
Oh, we got sex spots.
Okay,
We're making it. You're making it, man.
We're making it. We're making it.
You're getting higher and higher.
So we've got The Shining at 7. Yeah, that's a surprise. So
Yeah, I
The
didn't
Thing,
expect
The
that.
Thing is higher than The Shining. I didn't see that.
Good for me.
It does
I mean,
mean
I
that, of course.
love The Shining.
So we've got The Thing. We've got The Thing. We've got Psycho. We've got The Exorcist. So what? So there's 2 more
Yeah, I was
movies.
saying, let's rack our brains for a second here. We got
it's
The
tough.
Exorcist, The Thing, Psycho.
There's 3. So we're missing 3 films.
Yes.
And I honestly
who can guess one of the 3 films that we can't think of?
I cannot. What are people in the
Was
chat
Carnival of Souls on here? No,
that's not going to be in there. That's not.
I know you don't like that movie, but it is a classic movie. I wouldn't see it being actually this high though.
Anybody in the chat got any ideas?
Yeah, anyone have a guess for?
I'm blank.
Think of.
I'm drawing a blank.
Me too. I mean, definitely Psycho and The Exorcist are in the top 2.
Because Friday the 13th is not going to be in there. There's no way.
No chance. There's no way. I mean, as great a film as it is and stuff, I don't think many people would put that in like the top 10 horror movies of all time. I know, Lauren, I know you love the first one the most out of the series.
So let's go to number 6 then. So
yeah, let's go.
And we go.
Jack.
And we got The Thing. Okay, so The Thing is number 6. I think I said number 5. Did you say you said number 6? Didn't you for The Thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
I said 6, and then I said 5 or 6. So, but I did say 6 first. So yes.
Yeah. So The Thing is number 6. So we got number 1, and we got 2 of the 5, but we don't know what the other 3 are.
Birdemic.
Yeah, Birdemic 2.
Yeah, Echo.
Is it possible
the
that
plot of that? Now I gotta watch it.
What do you think about possibilities that Rear Window?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
We got. Is it possible?
I don't know if they put 2 Hitchcocks. Maybe.
I don't. Yeah, it is Hitchcock though, so I think it's possible. I think Rear Window could definitely be in there. Well, we'll soon find out. Let's go down to number 5.
I'd be happy with
Wicker Man
if it was on here. The Wicker Man.
Wicker Man.
I mean, I'd put The Shining above The Wicker Man.
I love the Wicker. I do love The Wicker Man.
No, I love The Wicker Man.
It's a fantastic movie.
I know, right? With the beast.
I don't know if
Nicolas Cage. It's so great.
Oh yeah, I love that film so much.
Oh wait, wrong one.
That's the best horror comedy of all time.
Oh yeah, that's just like the best horror dumpster fire of all time. So
Wicker. So we've got Psycho, Exorcist. So there's still 2 films.
I know, it's kind of driving me nuts.
Assuming that Psycho and Exorcist are 1 and 2, or 2 and 1.
Hold on,
the next one should be a movie we haven't predicted.
I want deep red on here.
So
Psycho's 4. Okay, this is getting interesting now. Actually,
yeah. So 3 and 2. I'm going for Exorcist as number 1. So 3 and
I'm
2.
not even sure now with the way that this is changed up in the top 10 here.
Yeah. So still, has anybody in the chat come up with any like suggestions what the missing
I
films
can't
are?
believe Reanimator is not on this list. Actually, was Reanimator on the 100 list?
It was,
It was,
yeah,
right?
it was, yeah.
I would put Reanimator.
It was quite high up as well.
Yeah.
It was really high up. I think it was in like the top 20.
Yeah, so, that sounds
really high.
kind of right now that I think about it.
It was higher than Halloween.
That's not deserving, but it deserves to be that high.
Right. So we could rule out. We could definitely rule out Rear Window if Psycho's 4.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. I know a lot of people who like Rear Window more than Psycho. The Omen we had already shown.
Based not on the logic of a pretty
the list.
Website. It's very, very sort of normal. You know, what would you expect? So, oh my god, my mind's gone blank.
I would love to see Deep Red or Tenebrae.
Okay, number 3 is Alien. Alien, of course. Alien.
I wouldn't put Alien in there.
Do you think,
I'm not saying not the list.
Because it's
that high. Also, I consider it more of a science fiction.
Yeah, I do as well. To me, it's not an out-and-out horror film.
And I've never been it's a fantastic movie, but it's not a favorite of mine. Mostly because I'm not really big into science fiction.
So number 2, I think
I knew Sean was going to be happy about Alien being in the top 3.
Yeah. Exorcist is going to be number 1. I think it's just a case of what's number 2,
unless we get a twist.
So number 2 is.
Wait, did we got Suspiria already, right?
Oh, we've got a twist.
Did we get Suspiria already? We did, right? Yeah,
we got Suspiria.
We didn't get Deep Red, and Sean got mad, and we all got mad.
The Exorcist is number 2. So what is number 1? What is number 1?
And all right, let's see. Put up your
chat. Put out what you think.
I mean, Lauren, I see what you're saying, but just like, I don't know, just that's how I view it. It's definitely like a science fiction horror film. I feel it just leans on science fiction for me more. Like I view it more as science fiction.
So I've jumped back in the chat now. So Texas
Texas
Chainsaw Massacre is looking like a possibility.
I wouldn't put that as the best horror film of all time.
But it's not in the top 50, so
it's not even the best in the series for me.
But if it's not in the top 50, then if it's not made the top 50, then that's kind of a glaring omission. So it's kind of interesting that if it's not even going to make the top 50.
No, Lauren, Shining was 7, and not setting is not genre. I can't explain it with Alien. I just look at it as more of a science fiction movie. I don't know. That's just how I can't explain it. Yeah, Shining was 7. All right, so number 1.
I think it's going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Evil Dead,
and it is.
No, they wouldn't put Evil Dead high.
It is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Fuck I don't agree with that at all. Candyman would have been good on the list, at least.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, according to number.
It's not even my favorite. Texas Chainsaw 2 is my favorite in the series.
So that is a surprise.
Oh, yeah, that was a surprise top 10.
I'm glad that they just didn't place Exorcist at number 1, at least, you know. So, let me just.
Yeah, Sean, I agree. Texas Chainsaw over like most of the ones that just came before that in the top 10. I would not put there.
But I'm not the biggest fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. I mean, I like the film, but it's not like a go-to movie. I do respect it, but
same with me.
I've got no issues with it being number 1. I think it's one of those films that kind of, it kind of came along, did its thing, kind of set the bar really in a way that, and I think I mentioned this on I think I mentioned this a long time ago on one of Piz's streams, that even though it didn't really sort of like start anything, because when it dropped in '74, nothing really came from it in a way. It just kind of came out, did its thing, went away. It didn't start a trend, but kind of makes it all the more unique, because it's not like we got this sudden wave of like slasher movies set in like, in Hills of Eyes is probably the next closest thing to it
Well, I
that
mean,
came out,
go ahead.
and that was 3 years later. So
Yeah, I was gonna say we have. You could kind of say that with Texas Chainsaw, kind of started like the power tools, and you got Driller Killer and Toolbox Murders. Those were both after Texas. Yeah, they were.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
what's up, Cliff?
Because
I've totally missed it. Mike and JC Lynch, I'll let you guys get your own personal list.
I'm down to the challenge. You guys already know my number 1 and 2.
Yeah. I've totally missed the chat tonight, guys. So, because obviously JT's been doing a sterling job while I've been scrolling down, but chat's been popping again.
Sean says, "Wonder if there's a best horror remake list." That would be a good thing to do.
Oh, what have I done there? There probably is.
Better have Maniac 2012 on it.
Yeah. Is that 10 years old, that film? Fucking hell.
Yeah. That movie's a fucking work of art.
I need to watch the Terror Train remake. That's
No, you don't.
No.
You don't.
I just need to see it just to so, because
yeah, I know what you mean. I'm like that with bad
got
movies
like, I want to just get this. I want to like get through like these like 2022 horror movies, for like end of year.
Yeah.
This like end of year stream coming up.
Yep.
Because obviously I want to like do a top 10. I need to see. I'm not going to see everything, obviously, but I want to see as much as possible. And obviously that can just be like an honorable mention for like worst horror film of 2022. But it's been a damn good year, I think, for horror.
We've had a lot of good stuff. We've had some decent amount of shit too. Coming out every year, but it has been a good year.
Definitely coming out. Once we're coming out of the pandemic now, but 12 months, 18 months out of that, so things are starting to get back to normal. But it is kind of, things are starting to come back to normal. And like the horror genre's just gone from strength to strength in the last couple of years. It seems to it seems to have strengthened since the pandemic, like even more so.
Maybe it's because they had time. The time to work on stuff more.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just throwing a random idea.
Just when you look at some of the when you look at some of the, not so much like genres, but franchises are just dying a death. Like Marvel's dying a death now. The DC's just dying. I mean, I'm just so fucking done with like the MCU and all that nonsense.
Been so done with them since before they started.
Yeah, I mean, I've always.
I'm not into those at all.
I don't blame you. I mean, I took a long time getting into the MCU. Like it was probably like 2013, 2014, and I caught Guardians of the Galaxy. I really liked it. Thought that was really original, like sort of like modern take on like a kind of Star Warsy style thing. So I kind of like started dipping into like some of the old.
I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't remember much. But...
It's a.
Isn't that the thing with the tree fucking character? Yeah. All right. I'm waiting for. We have no Mario Bava on this list, which is a fucking crime.
No.
That is a crime.
But as I say, it's very, very much a traditional, as I say, list with nothing too controversial.
Yeah, there's a little nice little twist up in the end there.
Yeah. But it might move away from these. I mean, they are popular. People like them, but it's going to start becoming very, very samey if you're doing the same thing all the time.
We should do the worst 50th horror movies.
Yeah,
50 worst horror movies of all time.
I love. When I was thinking it would be a good one, would be like 50, whatever. It doesn't have to be 50. Whatever
You get like
greatest.
specific genres.
No. Well, we could do that, but like greatest
Yeah.
scenes in horror. Like
That's good
specific
too.
scenes. Like you think about like The Exorcist 3.
I was just gonna say it too.
I mean, that things like that. Where would that stand? Scenes from Halloween. Whatever. That because that's that's something. Will that's something where you'd have no idea what would feature because there's you talk about an individual
great
scene
scenes, yeah.
from a movie.
I could already name my top two. It's Halloween is number 2 with the whole sequence when Laurie leaves the house and finds the bodies until she gets back into the Doyle house. The tension is just perfect. Everything is perfect in that scene. And number 1 is the defibrillator from The Thing. That's my favorite scene in film.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be. It could be a scene from a horror film that's not even a scare. Take The Thing for example. The scene with he's estimating if it gets out, what it'll do to the planet, and it just multiplies. That's a pretty like. It's not
just
like
thinking about that.
It's not a gory scene, but it's like it's the consequence. It's the consequences of what happens, and it's like it dawns on him,
and then that's why he loses his mind.
Yeah, I mean, Halloween for me, it's not even like it's just a shot. It's just Michael.
Yeah.
Which
stood one at the top
in
of
shadows in front of. No, it's where
when he's in the shed.
Stood in front of the house, looking across the road, and she's looking through the window.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Just love that shot, man. Just so good. But
so many amazing shots in Halloween.
It's just absolute masterpiece, that film. But
we should do we could do a top 50 horror scores.
Yeah, I mean,
me and Al did top 10, so we go top 50.
I'd have to go
40 higher.
I'd have to do some homework for that one to try and get 50. I'd have to really
I can get there with some. It would take thought, like after maybe the top 20, 25.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. So were many people surprised by this list? Probably not. It wasn't too surprising.
I'll just try and catch up some of the chat. Watched Blair Witch in the Theatres recently, really dug it. I was remember the hype when it came out. You had to be there, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it was just the hype of Blair Witch was just crazy because it was kind of like the early days of the internet. So it was it
was a brilliant marketing campaign.
It was the reason it worked well is because the internet at that time, people weren't really savvy to. Social media didn't exist, so people kind of were sucked into it online, but they didn't. They weren't wise enough to really know how things worked, so they kind of just fell hook, line, and sinker for it.
Yeah,
where if you tried to do that now,
how it is, how it looks.
If you'd see the imagery and you'd see the online stuff, but nowadays someone would just take their name, Google it, find out that these people don't exist or these people are involved. So it just wouldn't work.
Exactly.
It's that golden era of
it just came it came right at the right time.
Yeah, it came at the right time. It would never that style of filmmaking. You can do it, but you wouldn't be able to sell it in the same way that you sold that film.
No, people. But yet there's thousands of found footage that try.
Yeah, so. I mean, I remember going to see it when it came out, and there was still people, and even though I was convinced it wasn't real.
And I snuck in theaters with my friend to see it.
Yeah, and there was people who were still convinced when they were in the cinema that it was a real thing. And that was just a testament to how effective that whole marketing campaign was. But
that's such a weird film for me because I don't care for watching the movie, but I love the marketing campaign. Yeah. I love the way that they made the film. I think the acting is way underappreciated. It's a lot better than people give it credit for. They look terrified near the end of that movie. And the whole lore and stuff with the Blair Witch and Rustin Parr and Coffin Rock, love all that. I just don't like watching the movie. It's a weird movie for me. I like Blair Witch 2 better.
Dave was in the chat before. Sorry, Dave. I
Yeah.
didn't. Congratulations on 500 subs, by the way.
Yes, indeed.
Much deserved. If you're not subscribed to Dave's channel, go over and give him a subscription.
Absolutely.
We'll have to get him back on a live stream at some point. I know he wakes night
I told you
shifts,
he's.
so...
I told you he's off this weekend. I talked to him about doing a stream this weekend.
Oh right. When would that be then?
What's today? Friday, right?
It's Friday today.
Yeah, is it? That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's
Well,
technically
actually,
Saturday. It's Saturday where
yeah, that's true. You know what I just noticed? Black Christmas wasn't on here, right?
No.
Interesting.
I don't know. The fact that it's a Christmas film goes against it in these like lists. You know, there's like kind of like a negative. You know, it's almost like because it's like it would appear. No, it's just that if it was a movie, if they're going to do a top 20 like greatest Christmas movies or greatest horror film, it'd always be there number one. But because it's a Christmas movies tend to not fall into certain categories of unless it's specifically a list of Christmas films. Do you know? It's like
I see where you're coming from.
You know, obviously,
I still think it should be up on this.
Oh, it should definitely be in there, in my opinion.
But I get what you're saying about it would be like the top of Christmas one.
Yeah, it's like if you see like
Friday
a top.
Wasn't Big T. Big T said was Friday on it.
Dances with the Devils coming to Launch Channel a while back, I believe. I for some reason I don't get no. For a couple of, I've had to unsubscribe from Launch Channel and resubscribe because I wasn't getting notifications for his. No, I don't know why. Like twice on the run, he'd upload or he'd go live, and I didn't get a notification, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" But
check if you accidentally clicked the notification button.
It was on.
Oh, it was on. Yeah,
alert. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. But
well, I left a comment on Echo's a stream we were on the other night, and then I said, "Yeah, check out the comment I left," and then he literally couldn't find it while I was staring right at it. Like,
that happens.
It does. If you put
a lot
like, sort by new, then it'll bring up like missing comments.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's like I've literally got a notification on my phone saying there's a comment on a video, and I click onto the video.
Yeah, and
the comment's not there, and then you have to go into newest and then the comment.
It'll show up for some reason. I don't understand it either.
I don't understand like YouTube. I really don't get it. But
no.
Jamie, thank you for. I know that was a while ago.
Wait. We got to read what Lauren just said. Z just dropped Blur, a surprise horror film starring whatever that name is, that's being promoted as a spiritual sequel to Fulci's The Beyond. I got to see that. Beyond's my favorite Fulci film. What's it? So it's called Blur with 2 R's. I'm looking into that for sure.
What's going on with Shudder? Shudder. People are talking on
I'm hearing stuff, but not paying attention. So I don't know what's going.
People talking in the DMs on Twitter, in Lorne's book group. I don't know if they're making cutbacks. It's not getting completely axed, but
did someone stand down? Did someone leave? Like higher up? Maybe that's.
It looks like something's going on. I don't know whether it's not making enough money, but I'm not sure. But
I mean, they had some good originals this year. I mean, they had Deadstream. Deadstream was a phenomenal movie. Found footage film for this year. The trailer's on YouTube. Awesome. I'm watching that right after.
So check that out. So I'm actually have to wrap things up now anyway because it's getting pretty damn late in the UK.
Fine. I'm exhausted.
So for anyone who jumped on tonight,
wait, hold on. Chris missed the top 5. Were they juicy? So where were they? Let's recap the top 5 real quick for him.
It was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1.
Yep, Texas Chainsaw 1.
Exorcist 2.
Exorcist was 2, yes.
Psycho was 4, wasn't it?
Psycho was 4.
What was 3 then?
Well, you don't have good memories. Yeah.
No.
No. Maybe going like counting forwards to 1, but going backwards is not good.
What's up, Mikey? Mikey's in the chat. Thing was 6.
Yeah, the thing was 6.
Yeah, my memories. I can't
Now it's
remember.
yeah, no,
I can't remember, like 4 minutes ago.
Shot for days.
Just rewind the video a little bit, Chris. You'll feel it.
Yeah, yeah. It was different though, Chris, than like the last few ones that we did. With like The Exorcist, that one, Psycho and The Shining next, below that. And for some reason, that means we can't remember what it was because it was different.
Yeah, anyway, I'll wrap things
Hey,
up
Dying
now.
Breed.
What's up, man?
Bye, Dying Breed.
Yeah, I usually feel bad when people come on late. And
I
I'm
know.
just
It's like,
wrapping
hi, bye.
But everyone jumped on. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining in the chat. Thanks for having me,
Not
Mike.
sure. Let me know about a stream over the weekend with Dave.
Yeah, with Dave. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I am free Sunday.
I think he might have said Sunday is better for him too.
Yeah, I'm definitely free Sunday night. So
yeah, I'll find out. I'll double check on that. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to do it on your channel, then it's all good for me.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Or Dave. I mean, if Dave wants to try and lose his live virginity and
yeah, we can ask him that.
But anyway, if everyone jumped on board tonight, thank you very much. I will see you probably Sunday on somebody's channel. I'm just not sure whose yet.
Yeah.
So, JT, thanks very much, man.
Of course. Anytime.
I will see you guys later.
Take care, guys.
Good night.
Have a good
Bye.
Good night.